Hello, and welcome to the Green Island Podcast. I'm joined as always by James Sheehan. I'm Bernard Sheehan. Welcome, folks who have listened to us here for a little bit. You know, we're talking about things really globally, but a lot about Ireland centered, especially considering we're Irish Americans. So it's kind of through that lens, but also through the our outlook that Ireland is the laboratory for a lot of stuff that's being exported worldwide. And James, things are getting faster and faster here. Last time we spoke, Trump assassination attempt had just happened, and now like everything in Europe is kind of up for grabs. And as we record this, the stock markets may be all crashing. Iran may be lobbing bombs over to Israel. So there is a ton of stuff going on around the world. But, in Ireland and also in England, they're having a lot of protests that are really kind of going sideways. And we've been talking about this for, almost 8 months now to say, hey, listen, if you guys don't turn things around and start figuring it out and start deporting people and not have, really listen to the people of your country and countries, including the UK, around this out of control illegal immigration, things were going to come to a head. And I think that we're kind of getting there right now.
A great intro. Yeah, 100%. Like, wow, that was pretty good. I didn't know about the economy because like things seems like they've been inflated for a long time. So I haven't kind of, is it starting to crash now? Because I mean, they've been warning it for a while, but then you have some people like it's happening now. But as expected, right?
Yep.
2024, not to fail.
Yep. And
See what happens. Like they're rolling it out, and got to break a few eggs, to make it work. But Iran and Israel now, like what did Israel bomb Iran recently? Like so much crap going on. It's
that's the
pretty
thing.
crazy.
It's hard to keep up. Iran or Israel took out a bunch of more Hamas folks the other week, including like kind of the top dog. He was in Iran, and they had planted a bomb in a building months ago, just waiting for him to step in there
Oh,
and stay there,
nice.
and they took him
Oh yeah.
out that way. So
Oh yeah,
the
I
number
like
one
that.
guy is gone, and
That's
Iran,
awesome.
yeah, Iran is losing their shit though, and they're just like, okay, you guys want to go, let's go, because obviously it was on their soil, and but they've been saying this for years, so it's like, are you guys really going to do something? But they're basically like the U.S. is like, get the hell out of Beirut or get out of
That's right.
northern Israel
Yep.
if you're there, because shit's about to get real. So, but like we talked about at the beginning, and even offline before we got onto this, I mean, Trump assassination attempt happened just the other week, and that's already kind of in the rearview mirror, and they've been depressing that, for real, to make people stop and not think about it, and instead, here in the U.S., kind of promote Kamala Harris. Now she's the, the person who's going to save us all, supposedly, even though she can't put two words together or a couple sentences together. I mean, she's the absolute worst. Everybody says she's the worst, and meanwhile, the world is kind of up for grabs. And again, we talk about it from the Irish, outlook, but the UK is also, they've had enough of their immigration situation. A couple of kids were murdered the other day, and they're like, we're done. And now basically some of the stuff that's been happening in
Darn,
Ireland.
kids were murdered though,
Murdered.
because I thought like people are trying to say that's like a deep fake or something, that
No,
the kids weren't murdered and this is all right wing conspiracy. So kids were actually murdered or stabbed by an illegal, was that, or an immigrant or
it
whatever,
was.
a refugee?
Yeah, it was an immigrant, or a refugee. I mean, whatever you want to call it, but it was
Same old thing. Okay,
same old
crazy.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, little kids, and yeah, it's not a deep
What's
fake.
wrong
It's
with them
real.
going after little kids? I mean, what the fuck is up with that? Like, talk about like, I mean,
Well,
just turkeys for the slaughter, huh?
they did
Like,
the same thing in
crazy.
Ireland a couple of years, a couple not years, a couple months ago.
We had a podcast about it. What? Like, it was one of our first, maybe
Yeah,
6 months ago.
yeah,
You
yep,
know,
yep, and
just about this. The Irish, this immigrant who was in Ireland living off the dole for what, 10 years,
yep,
and then he just decided to start stabbing kids outside the outside their school or something, right?
Right.
Wasn't that
That was the
and
story.
that
And
started off the riots.
yep, that started Dublin when they were setting things up. And now over in England, it's the exact same thing. And in
So we'll
Belfast.
be on Connor watch now, right? See what comes out. He'll
Well,
he'll be coming out soon enough, maybe.
he did post on X that, this is a load of crap. And we called him out on it in Twitter. It's like, step up, start doing something about it. You know what I mean? And, so he's got to run for president if that's what he wants to do. Everybody else, the rats are fleeing the ship, and this is the same thing.
The what's it called? Will come to Ireland. The brothers. What are they called? The cool
The
guys that
Tate
do the
brothers,
kickbox. The Tate brothers will come
Tristan
in.
and
So
Andrew Tate.
yeah, yeah, that'd be fun, right? We could comment on them. That'd be a good. That'd be some content for for
Yeah,
laughs.
yeah. Obviously they're controversial, but it's just like how much of this is real? Is real controversy around them?
Controversial, but at least they're somewhat logical. I mean,
Yep.
I don't get into their whole women's thing and all that, but I mean, for like economics and kind of like just political, like, problems or the government overreaching as they've experienced from my knowledge of their news, that they are kind of ripe for the picking. And they can't stop Connor from running because he has a lot of money and he can just do it by the book. Like, it's really a testament of kind of like these left-wing governments don't want to leave like Moderno and Venezuela. And like, it'd be interesting if Connor actually won. What, like, you see Ireland, it's stuck in the mud. Like,
Right.
the least change in the European elections that we were commenting on a month ago or so.
Yep.
And like, they're, as we said, they're sheep, so
Yeah.
I hope Connor does go through with it. It'd be absolutely terrific.
Well, they did a shot across the bow to him the other day by, like did, took care, they did something with regards to his driving record. It was just like a little shot to be like, hey, listen, you're not impervious. We can get at you. Just a little thing, just to kind of like put him on guard, and who knows what else they.
Driving record.
Yeah.
What's that about?
What's
that about?
How like over there they've got that system, like it's a points system or something like that, and
100%. Yes, that's pretty
and
much almost everywhere.
yeah, so they dinged his points considerably or something for various violations. I'd need to go back and look at it.
Like if you get parking tickets or red light cameras
Right.
or, on your phone or stuff, like, and you lose like 13 or 15 of them, you're like off the streets for like a year or two.
Yeah.
But he can pay for a chauffeur compared to everybody else,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's dazzling around probably in Lamborghinis and stuff, messing around.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was also just kind of like a, hey, you're not impervious. Here's a little something for you. We're just going to get you here just to
And you would
get it going.
expect, right? Like that's just what you would expect is coming your way. Welcome to the real world.
Right. Well, that's the thing too. I mean, when they turn on you or they go after you, they just, we can see it here in the U.S. with Joe Biden. He's gone.
You just said
Hey, you should go, and then all of a sudden they turned around. And it was just like, okay, we've been nice. Now it's time for us to start hurting you and showing you what we can do. And
exactly, and he did cost them some time, so they're not in the good books, I would say, nonetheless. You know,
well, that's where the media comes in because they've turned around their coverage, and it is all Kamala all the time. It is like she's the greatest thing.
Girl is awesome.
She
Man,
is the best.
She is real hip.
Yep. She's incredible. I mean, everything about her up till like 10 minutes ago was that she's the absolute worst, and she is, potentially drunk all the time.
Fleeing too. It's awesome. Like, it is awesome how they turned everybody, like, and how people are just taking the soup or they just don't care. Like, as long as their side wins, right?
Yeah.
She's the new puppet.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, it's funny. It's quite funny, and hopefully it kind of works. But people like, I don't know. I'm kind of looking at the suburban housewife.
Yep.
That like, are they going to fall for her scam, or are they going to like, and that's it.
They definitely will, and they are. I mean, without a doubt. When you say suburban housewife, I think we've got a picture of what that looks like, and typically it's a white lady, right, who's kind of like mid 50s, maybe into her 60s.
Yes.
and probably used to watch Oprah all the time and all that stuff, and
That's right.
that's what they're trying to convince her.
And her husband's a Republican.
I don't know. I think her husband's probably some kind of simp. He's useless. Will do whatever she says. So
I mean, she does rule the roost for
she
sure. That's
rules.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yes,
she wears the pants in the family, and
that's exactly it.
you
That's
know,
exactly it.
so
So
yeah,
who knows? Who knows how it goes? Like, I mean, she has a number of days, and every day seems like it's going more crazy. And I wouldn't rule out that they'll try to start a big war in the just to guarantee there might not be an election. Might as well end whatever's going on here.
yep.
You know,
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. I mean, it's like, or they're, or they just need to get it close enough where they can cheat. That's the thing too. Is what
that's right.
with Biden there, it was going to be too much of a gap for them to have to make up, and now they can do that. If they can get it closer, they just need to get
100%.
it closer for them to be able to make up the difference in all their scheming ways. Because don't tell me Democrats don't cheat, because that's all they've been doing for the last 100, 150 years.
Built
So
in 3 or 5% margin just for cheating. And I
yep,
thought if you cheat, you go to jail because it's a federal crime
not
and
if
no one
you're
goes to freaking jail.
not if you're a Democrat. I mean, that's the thing.
I know that's the problem.
You've got a Democrat judge who will let him out, and this is the thing too. It's and you saw it 4 years ago with all the riots and everything. All of those people. I mean, there's people who are setting cop cars on fire, and they got a slap on the wrist. So all
Yeah,
these people are
exactly. The
being let out.
Molotov cocktails, and they
Yep,
were like rich white people
yep,
too, from like
yep.
and I think they got like 18-month probation or something like that.
Of course, of course. You know,
Crazy,
because it's all part
crazy
of
stuff.
that's part of the system. You've got the people at the top who give the orders, and then you've got the ground troops at the bottom who execute and go crazy. But having said that, it'll be interesting to see. I know we're kind of off topic from Ireland stuff, excuse me, but the Democrat convention is coming here, or is going to Chicago in just a couple of weeks here, and there's a lot of folks who are not happy with the Democrats because they are supporting Israel still. And if Israel and Iran kind of do get into it, um, I I expect it to be a little bit hectic. We might see something happening in Chicago.
I think it is. I think something's going to happen for sure. It's almost like they just tried to kill Trump, and now it's old news, and like it looks like the Secret Service were heavily involved.
Yeah, or at
Like
least they turned
everything's
a
just
blind eye.
loopy. It's we, like, and then they play I'll have to get back to you, Senator. It's like, how do you not know this information? This is you're an expert.
Yeah, yeah,
You should know all this like photographic memory, and it's ridiculous. Like, why are you dodging unless you're participating?
right.
Uh, Stuff like the 20-year-old. I think we discussed him a couple episodes ago, didn't we? Like the shooter, crazy stuff. And we said that
Yeah,
they would have to almost kill him.
yeah.
Welcome to the new regime. Like we have to get out of Ireland, or you're going to be arrested, and then they're going to create a narrative around that. But why they have you in a cell?
Well,
Like you don't give them that.
well,
Welcome to fighting governments.
that's what the new UK PM was just saying. He's like, he came out with a speech, and he's like, if you guys don't quit this, we're going to be coming after you. And he didn't mean, the kind of immigrants who are out there with machetes and knives. He meant, English people who are done with this and are fed up with it. So it's just,
100%.
you know,
100%. I think in Belfast too, they were this
yep,
girl, a politician, was saying the exact same thing to like the guys, and it's interesting in Belfast where like the Protestants and the Catholics are all on the same side against pretty much the government to stop the refugees. They're not necessarily against refugees; they would like them all to go home, but they're actually against the government housing them, and I mean they're actually and bringing them into the country, of course, but
well,
the people.
the thing about refugees is, and I'm just going to take a step back. The way refugee status works is you go to the nearest safe country. So if you're in some place, like say you're in Syria, you go to Turkey, and that's where you are. That's where you get refugee status, because that's a quote unquote safe country. It's not involved. You don't go to Ireland, which is 5, 10 countries away, and then be a refugee there. That's not how this works.
The same as America. It's
Yeah,
exact same. Like they should
yeah,
have went through all these countries, but that's why the world is so crazy because they're not even following the most simple logical
that's
laws.
right.
And
What
now
law?
Kamala Harris isn't even like the border czar who kind of let everybody in, and they're like, no, it's just the world has gone crazy where it has to kind of peak because like it's so much disinformation from the press and they're all working in unison now that like they'll never be as powerful as they are now.
Yeah. Well, you talk
Or
about
maybe next year if she wins,
well, you
then
talk
they'll be
of
more powerful.
yeah, like with regards to Kamala, how is she even the nominee? She didn't win one vote anywhere ever. Not in 2020, not this year. She's
She
never
won a
gotten
vote
one
with
vote.
Joe Biden. She won votes with Joe Biden to be
No,
president.
he won the votes. He won the vote to be
I appreciate
president.
that, but I mean, she was on the ticket, like her name. So I mean, but I understand she wasn't kind of the head leader, but then she did win Senate, right, in California, or
Yeah.
was that rigged?
No, she won California. I mean, but she that's the thing
Willie
about her.
Brown, Willie
She's
Brown.
yeah, but she's a California product of California. But as far as running for the president, those were all of Joe Biden's votes. He got X amount of 14 million votes for him to be president or for him to be the nominee, and now he's out. It's not her votes. Why does she get them?
Because he gifts them to her, doesn't he? Like he logically hands them over to them,
He
right?
hasn't done it yet, as far as I know. So I mean,
Oh yeah, but I
he
think that's part
endorsed
of the
her.
deal. He's probably ironing out the presidential library and the foundation for
Right,
Jill and Hunter, and
right.
you know making sure that Hunter's off everything and et cetera so forth.
and he
Right?
and he's able to stay as president through the rest of his term, so he's not going
Yeah,
out like Nixon in disgrace,
100%.
even though he
Maybe
should.
because he like you don't see him now, but he was like he won't do a single thing anymore. The press are now onto Kamala, and he's just in the background. But he was in the background his whole term.
Right.
It was just like he's just not going to be out there now. He's pretty much like whatever.
Well, that's the thing. He's they've moved on from him as the sock puppet to her. That's all.
100%. But you can't let her off the leash because apparently even like just her first interview at the tarmac when who died or no when the prisoners were coming back from Russia and
Yep.
she was kind of asked her first question and apparently she fumbled it for only one so far. Like she's not great. She's horrible. Like
Well,
it's crazy how she's a perfect example of failing up. Like I don't think there's ever been a better example in the history of politics of
did you
failing up. Like she's horrible.
did you ever watch Veep with that Julia Louis
I really
Dreyfus?
can't. It's at the top of my list. Like literally, I was looking at like a banner across, I don't know, one of my streaming platforms for it that has, and I just can't.
It's
I
hard to
don't
watch.
know. Huh?
It's hard to watch. I mean,
That's what I
because
was figuring.
she's
That's what I
so
was figuring.
useless, and it's supposed to be a parody of Sarah Palin, when she was running, and it's kind of presupposes that she becomes the vice president. And there's a podcast that I listen to, and they used to do a. Now, was this a Selena Meyer, which is the name of the character? Is it a quote from her, or is it a quote from Kamala Harris? And they had to stop the game because they ran out of quotes from the character. They had a million quotes from Kamala that are more ridiculous than the next, but they ran out of funny quotes. They'd used them all up from the show. Do you know what I mean? That's how bad she is that she just every time she opens her mouth, she says something more stupid than the previous time.
She's sounding smart, and it just shows the rubbish that comes out of her mouth that she tries to like bring these phrases in and stuff and analogies and whatever. It's like just tell people what you think, but she doesn't. She can't because she's a puppet. She's
Right.
always been a puppet. She always will be a puppet.
Yep.
And she's happy to do it. But like even her, poor Dougie had to come out and tell that he got his babysitter pregnant. I'm like, of
He
course.
sure did.
They're all just weird,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And
There's
that's what,
always something wrong with that,
yeah,
you know?
that's the thing. It's just like, oh, you got the last babysitter pregnant, so that's why you got divorced. And it's like, it's typical with all these people. I mean, obviously it's California, so, but but Kamala's such a moron. She thinks that the storage in the cloud is actually clouds. Like that's where you store, when you put something in the cloud, it's actually in clouds. That's how
Can't be that dumb. She
she
can't be really
she
that stupid.
she did say that. She did say it. Yeah, she is that stupid.
Oh my God. My
Yeah.
God.
But like you
You know,
said,
and this was
it's
like it just shows she was the head of like attorneys for California.
yeah,
That's the competition you're going up against, you know?
yep,
Crazy.
yep. That's the thing. But
Absolutely nuts.
she's gonna say whatever she needs, whatever they tell her to say, if she can say that. So I think that it'll be
It just shows like you weigh like better living with like Trump will open up gas and lower gas prices, which lowers the price of everything. Or they hate Trump so bad that they're going to vote for a complete idiot that's going to make it even worse.
right.
Like, what's wrong with people these days? Like, make a proper logical decision and like get on with it. You
Yeah.
know,
Nope.
Trump's not that bad, and he just survived an assassination.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. It's so, again, it's up for grabs. It's going to be up for grabs here in the US. It's also, up for grabs right now, as you said, in England and Belfast and also in Ireland. So I think there's going to be more of this craziness for quite some time.
Yeah, why Iran and Israel start ramping things up,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then the Chicago Convention. When is the Chicago Convention? In like weeks' time?
It's like a week. I think it's like 2 weeks. So it's going to be a little bit out, but it's still they still haven't crowned her yet. So who knows what could happen? Maybe Hillary sweeps in and takes it from her. I mean, this.
That's what I'd rather have Kamala than Hillary. Hillary's a little bit more daunting than I mean, even though I don't know, maybe she sucks as well, but she's just her ego could I don't know. They're both pretty bad,
Who's
but
more?
Kamala is particularly bad. But
Who's
she has the black thing going for her, even though she's Indian. It's
she's Indian and
crazy how
Jamaican.
they. Oh yeah, and Jamaican. So she's not even African American. Like
No,
she's not even American. Like
no,
she's African Jamaican or whatever.
right.
But she was always using the Indian thing. It just shows like how they just can't wait to adopt like these ideology, these symbols. You
Yeah.
know, she's just a symbol,
Well,
effectively.
I heard a black commentator here in America say something that was really interesting. He's like, you can have any avatar that you want. You can get an Indian avatar, you can get an old white guy avatar, or you can have whatever kind of combination. But they're all going to say the same socialist shit. They're all going to be the same when it comes to what they're going to do and the way that they act. And I was like, that's right on.
Yeah, yeah, because she's like what the most socialist there was in the Senate at the time when she was kind of then went from attorney to California Senate. So she's had quite the nice little life,
Yeah,
in all fairness, or at least over the last 20 years of living on like Uncle Sam.
yeah.
You know, but yeah, a lot to watch and a lot going on, and who knows?
Who
Who knows?
knows?
Is be safe.
Yeah, it's moving fast. And again, like we talked about, the Trump assassinations in the rearview mirror, and it may not be the last one. Let's be honest. They could take another shot at him, as soon as they get the
Said
chance.
logically, or at least if you follow that Alex Jones guy, which I don't really follow him, but he was talking about this, and he's usually pretty good. He's like they almost have to take another shot at him.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. So yeah,
so
it's crazy. I mean, I know this was, we were kind of all over the map here, but everything is all over the map, including, that ridiculous stuff going on in France. But they can have it. I don't give a crap.
who's the prime minister in France now? Anybody or
I don't know who the prime minister is. I think Macron is still the president, and you know, but I don't know how things are doing. As far as
do you
politically,
believe that he is married to a transvestite?
do I? I have no idea. But she's not.
Do you think he is? Have you ever seen any information on that?
there's people out there saying that that woman or that person is a transvestite and always has been, and has groomed him since he was like 15 years old, and that's a fact that he was a teenager, because she's significantly older than him.
Significantly, like 20 years or something, like, and
Yeah,
he's like 47 or
yeah,
50, and like, let's say she's almost 70 and you're still. But I seen a lot of information on that. I kind of did watch, Candace Owens talked about a lot
she
about
does.
this, and the information is pretty indisputable, like, and it makes a lot of sense because these guys are all freaks.
They're all,
It's turning out to be.
yep, they're all freaks, and there's no
Even
such thing.
Obama and Big Mike.
Well, what do you call it? Joe Rogan just talked about that on his or in his special yesterday, or as we tape this, that just came out. He mentioned that in his comedy special on Netflix, and it's the thing about it is where we are right now. We talk about it with Ireland. Is that there's no such thing as a conspiracy theory anymore. It's all reality. Everything has come true, and they're going to just continue to do this stuff. And everything that we say is like, that can't be real. It's real. So,
That's exactly it, and that's the whole thing. And it's like then they get the judges to do crap. Like that's why there's no proper judicial system, and they're going after the Supreme Court
yep.
because then like you're at the mercy of governments that can flip on you like a whim, and they don't follow the law.
And
It's absolutely crazy.
that's the first thing every communist country does too, is take down their court system, and then it's all up for grabs, and then it's just nothing but
And they
power.
did it in Ireland.
Yep.
Welcome to Hard Border, Volume One.
Yep.
That's the judicial's the main element of it, that
Yep.
it's all rigged in
Yep.
honor of the banks, keeping them from getting the assets
Yep.
of their borrowers.
Yep. And that's just their paymasters in Europe, and all these. It's the globalist system. So it's it's all happening. It's happening fast, and I think we
Well,
need
this is the
to.
thing now in Ireland, Bern. Ireland have a ton of money from like the Fortune 500 companies and the taxes, and that they're building like their own kind of wealth fund. But of course, it's run by the government. But all the other people, the people that actually had money that it was sucked away, are broke. So like the population's broke, except the refugees that are coming in with money, and like the super elite. But everybody else got all their property snatched, or like at least kind of their equity, and they haven't recovered, but the government's flying and laughing.
Of course. And now they're all retiring and going off with their big pay packages and loving life. So,
It's no joke. Their pay packages, like it's like 400K, probably even more now, 500K per annum. Uh, CPR, like it's no joke. That guy, what is it, the PM who's leaving? What's his name?
I've already forgot.
Varadkar, Leo Varadkar.
Yeah,
Like
Leo.
his pay package is probably going to be like 400 or 500 grand a year,
A
like
year.
for the rest of his life,
Yeah,
and a driver,
of course. So,
like crazy.
yeah, that's the thing. They're all just taking as much money as they can, whether it's in the U.S., funneling it through the Ukraine or whatever they're doing. And in these other countries, they're just grabbing it and then they're running. And he's got another gig, right? Some kind of, um,
I think it's an AI company, and he's
okay.
like global, what would it be, regulations, or kind of like global compliance or some crap,
Yeah.
that he would even know, does he even know jack shit
Yeah.
about.
So he's well out of it and got his money. He's getting paid for screwing over not his people. Let's be honest. I mean, he's
He is a refugee almost himself.
yep,
I don't think he was even born in
yep,
Ireland.
yep. He doesn't give a shit. So
They
that's
don't. They come in. It's hard. It's hard that people actually have that mindset to come in and screw up. I've seen it so much there that no wonder it's the way it is,
yep,
because it's every man for yourself, and it's pretty bad. And they will screw anybody to get to the top.
yep, exactly.
That's why the judges, like, they have no choice, even though it's a job for life. It's like, well, I'm going to get paid some way. And it's our little, like, everybody's assured that they're going to get the piece of the pie and the cocktail parties and stuff like that. So why wouldn't you play ball but essentially you're stealing the people on the other side of the table,
That's right.
the common man,
Yep,
because that's all it is. It's the middle class game taken.
yep. And that's what they want to do. They don't care about the little people, so more to come. I think we're going to keep on talking about all this stuff over the course of the next couple of weeks because it's coming fast and furious.
I like that you're tweeting Conor McGregor because now it's time to get in the fight. Like now is the time. Whether you have another fight coming up or not, time to go. So yeah, why don't you kind of keep on him on the Twitter and push him along. I'll cut
Definitely.
this up and we'll send them some clips. But now's the time to go.
Yep. If he's brave enough. So we'll see.
I mean, that's exactly it. But Byrne, like, come on, seriously, like, yeah, I agree, I agree. But unfortunately, someone's got to be brave. Like, you're still walking away with tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. You're just not walking away with a billion or whatever he has his sights on. But who cares? The world might be over tomorrow.
Yep. Well, it depends. I mean, we'll see. Does he want the luxury yacht more, or does he want to do something for people? So
Burn, why don't you have both? Like the luxury yacht he wants is his money.
that can
But then
be,
he gets to stay in Phoenix Park in a castle for like 5 days and
yep.
go around and take like if President Trump comes over, he's doing the pictures with them.
Yeah.
Pretty funny, right?
Yeah. But the money can be taken away. We know that as much as anybody else. You saw it with Kanye West. I mean, they give you the money and they take it away. So it is possible.
I agree to a degree, but yeah, I understand that. But like his companies, yeah, but he at least has some in cash. But I don't think they'll be able to take it all away. But who knows? Like it'll be fun to watch because if they take all his shit away, they can take everybody's away because it's and there you are. You're like, okay, move to Morocco and still run,
Right.
or Monaco, is it?
Yeah. Monaco. That's right.
Go to Monaco and you still have your Prop 12 brand, which you can pretty much, you probably not even making in Ireland anyways.
Exactly.
And So I think you'd be just fine. And because that's what they want you to do, stay there so they can freaking screw you in the system.
That's right. All
That's
right.
why we had to jump.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I think we can
Stay
call it
tuned, but
there.
I think we'll add more stuff to this podcast as we go and current events, but then we'll also kind of make it fun and maybe do some Irish movie connection critiques, like, as we wanted to talk about Patriot games and stuff like that.
Yep.
So for the listeners, but I think, we're going to be, I know we're one of 5 million podcasts I heard today is kind of throughout the globe, but we have a nice niche and we'll keep on going.
Yep. And there's a lot of stuff going on. So, they're not all going to be current events, but if things are happening, we got to talk about it. And things are happening right now.
So
So,
great. We should, for sure.
all right, man. Sounds good. Appreciate you hopping
Okay.
on. And folks out there, please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Also follow us on X, Green Island Pods. And, please, help us to continue growing. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Bern.
Bye now.
Take care.